How is that so messy? Okay, well, whatever. What's up, YouTube? If you are catching the live chat replay, you can follow along by going to the comment section and swiping right. In the description box of this video, there is going to be a phone number for you to call the state of Texas. You have to call the governor's office because we have 2 days left to save an innocent man of a crime that never even happened. Not only is he innocent of this crime, but it never freaking happened. His name is Robert Robertson, and in 2 days, his execution is scheduled to happen. I really believed that the last time I just saw this happen, I didn't think it was going to happen. Marcellus Williams was put to death as well. And I thought, there's no way I need to talk about this. There's so many eyes on it. There's millions of signatures. The Innocence Project and all these other organizations are all over it. I thought for sure that he would not have been executed. The victim's family, begged the state not to go through with that execution, and they did it anyway. And it's just a horrible injustice. So here we are again with Robert Robertson and his story. So I'd like to, kind of share all of that before I get to anything else like comments or anything. But essentially what happened with Robert's case is he is an autistic man. He had a little girl and she passed away from what we now know was undiagnosed pneumonia. At the time, Robert showed no emotion. That is a symptom of autism. And they said that his daughter was had passed away because of shaken baby syndrome. That is not true. Even the lead detective on this case knew that, now knows at the time that that isn't accurate. And he's kind of been one of Robert's biggest advocates. Can you guys hear me and everything? Okay, whoa, the chat just jumped up. Something was weird. I didn't see any of the comments at all. You guys can hear me okay? Is there any way to stop it? Yeah, so we have to call the governor, and it's this comment right here. Let me try to pin it. I don't know if I can actually, because it's mine. I don't know. Purple Willow Hearts, can you try to pin my comment right there? It's like being weird. I don't know. So we have to call the governor and just let them know that Texas cannot do this. They cannot execute an innocent person. Williams, good. Okay, good. Missouri did that to Marcellus Williams. I know. When I woke up and I saw that news that Marcellus Williams was not here anymore, I just couldn't even believe it. I was driving Micah to school and it popped up. I checked my phone at a red light. It popped up and I thought, there's no way. There's no way. Like, with all of the eyes on it and everyone rallying for him and coming together, I'm like, there's no way they're going to do that. And they did. I was absolutely shocked. The detective even regrets everything he did to put Robert on death row. I feel like the chat's not moving for me. I don't know what's wrong with it. It's being kind of weird right now. I don't want to go to my own channel. I want to pin my comment. Live chat. There we go. I don't see a comment from you. Okay, I'll redo it. I posted it before I went live. I don't know if that's maybe the difference. Hold on one second. I'm just deleting all of the stuff that's in the description box that I had to copy. There we go. So it's just like the number and like the script of what you say. You say, hey, my name's Jess. I'm calling to see where you're at with the execution of Robert Robertson, and I want to urge you to not go through with that. There's tons of evidence coming out now that not only is he innocent, but the crime that he is on death row for never even happened. So that's just what I'm here for today. that's really all I got. I just want you guys to be aware of the situation. And I couldn't make a video and edit a video and put it up fast enough. Lives are super great for that. Is your chat moving now? It's not. It's like stalled out, so I can't even see what you guys are saying. Live chat. He's charged with the actual charge. Hold on. Capital or first degree? Hold on, let me see. Let me double check. So his daughter had undiagnosed pneumonia, and they originally said that he had shaken his daughter, shaken baby syndrome. They now know that that is not true. And it really is because of his lack of emotion during trial that they were like, yeah, this guy's super evil. He has no emotion. Okay, well, he was later diagnosed with autism. It was just such a different time. He's been on death row for a long, long time. It was Texas. This is Texas we're talking about. God, it's so sad. So the execution date is October 17th. Mr. Robertson case is riddled with unscientific evidence. I can't even read. I can't read aloud to the class. But yeah, it was. What's the actual charge? I don't know if it was capital or first degree or something like that. In 2002, Mr. Robertson's 2-year-old chronically ill daughter, Nikki, was sick with a high fever and suffered a short fall from the bed. Hospital staff did not know Mr. Robertson had autism and judged his response to his daughter's grave condition as lacking emotion. Mr. Robertson was prosecuted, convicted, and sentenced to death for Nikki's death. The overwhelming medical and scientific evidence now shows that Nikki died of accidental and natural causes. Mr. Robertson's innocence case is attracting growing widespread support from scientists, doctors, faith leaders, innocence groups, former federal judges, best-selling novelist John Grisham, which is crazy, and the lead detective on the case. It's horrible. It's every parent's worst nightmare to lose their child, and then on top of that be charged for no reason. They're not going to free him because that's a big lawsuit. No, that's really not how that works. I know it doesn't seem like there's a lot of hope for things like this, but we can stop this. We can. It has happened a lot. You know, we have been able to get a lot of people out of prison and off of death row, to the point where I genuinely did not think Marcellus Williams would be put to death. I was very confident in that, and I didn't think that I needed to make videos on it because it, the petition had millions of signatures. There was tons of support, so I'm like, there's no way they're going to do that, and they did. Yes, I have called. It's really important to put a lot of pressure on them. I don't know why this chat is moving so slow. It's like it's moving at a glacial pace, so I can't really see your comments coming through very quickly. What a short, bring more views. I will do that after this. I'm also going to do more stuff on TikTok too. I'm doing what I can as fast as I can, but I will definitely do a short. For my channel, it's so hit or miss. Who knows, dude? For me, Facebook probably would have been the fastest route with more views. You're coming in slow. I probably have slow chat on. I hate that. I hate when I do that. I wonder if I can change it. I'll probably just make it worse. Knowing me, I'll probably make it worse. Okay, well, that's not what I wanted to do either. What was he charged with? He was charged with his daughter's death, even though he did not hurt her. So it's got to be slow chat replay. Ugh. I don't think I can fix it once I've already started. Please catch you up. So Robert Robertson is a Texas man that is on death row, and in 2 days he will be put to death unless we can stop it. The number to call the governor is Governor Abbott. It's at the top. I pinned the comment. He was charged with his daughter passing away. His daughter passed away from an undiagnosed pneumonia. And they said that it was sudden baby syndrome or shaken baby syndrome when there was no evidence to support that. And because Robert has autism, they and they didn't know that at the time either. They looked at his reaction, his emotionless reaction, and they put him in prison for that and put him on death row. Reading about him, an Innocence Project. Wow, this is crazy. Like insane. Yeah. It's bad. I really want to change the comments so I can see more of them. If you guys could hit the thumbs up button, interact with it, share, like all that stuff, it really helps. Or so they say. What does that do? I'm just pressing buttons now. Well. I can't even fix it. Oh, wait, maybe. Oh, here we go. Anyone? Oh, no, slow mode isn't on. Y'all are just not talking to me. Live chat. Anyone? Okay, good. Good. Right? I didn't do that wrong. Now I know where to go in case it happens again. Hi, Jess. I'm all for the death penalty. Well, that's not a good start with me. It's not a good start for me. The reason why I'm not for the death penalty, and I've struggled with this my entire life and also career, is that the death penalty is not a deterrent for crime. It doesn't change the outcomes of anything. No one that is committing horrible crimes that could potentially lead to death row, none of them have thought, I'm actually just not going to go through with this murder because of the death penalty. No, they're not thinking like that. They're not thinking logically in that moment. And there's tons and tons of studies on that. It is not a deterrent for crime. It is also extremely costly, more costly than life for the state. The only thing that the death penalty does is give families some kind of closure or some kind of they feel as though there's justice, right? So that's really all that it is. There's also been too many errors, and this. I think that the country does not have the right to unalive its citizens. So, how is emotion versus evidence enough to get the death penalty? I just called now. It's super easy. Everyone call. Yeah, super easy. You'll get through. It's not that bad. I should do videos on CPS too. That's a really good point, Lindy. I keep burping. I'm sorry. He spent so long on death row. like long, long time. 2001. Oh, wait, no. 2002. What did you miss? So, the state of Texas is about to execute an innocent man for not only a crime he didn't commit, but a crime that never even happened. So, the story goes his daughter, Nikki, he took her to the hospital. She had undiagnosed pneumonia, a fever, and she had a fall. She fell out of bed. She was very sick, very, very sick. And she didn't make it. And his lack of emotion made the doctors say this is shaken baby syndrome, and he hurt her, and that's how she died. And there's no scientific evidence to support that at all. And then later he was diagnosed with autism, which explains his lack of emotion. And it's horrible. I just read an article saying the court denied the motion to take him off death row. Yeah, there's a lot of appeals that happen when you get a sentence like that, life or that the death penalty. It takes, on average, you will sit on death row on average 15 to 20 years on death row. Someone called Kim K. Yeah, let me just got her on speed dial right here. I genuinely did not believe in my heart of hearts that Marcellus Williams would have been put to death. I really didn't. And when he was anyway, I was shocked. I'm still fucking shocked that the state of Missouri did that. The victim's family begged them, do not execute this man. There was evidence proving that he was innocent. And for years and years, they tried so hard to get him off death row. And I'm like, there's no way that Missouri is going to do that. So even though this happened, was it last month? I'm still shocked. I truly did not think I had to tell you guys about it, because I'm like, there's millions of signatures. The victim's family is all over it. All of the, thank you, Alice, all of the people, all the organizations, they've come together and they're not going to execute this man. I really did not think I needed to make a video on it. That's how much I believed in my soul that this wasn't going to happen. And when I saw that it happened anyway, I was just shocked. I was devastated. Unless Gov Abbot steps in, he will be unalived. Correct. I'm not a big fan of Abbott for other reasons. So I don't have a lot of hope, but I have to try. We have to try. These situations are what is wrong with death penalty being a sentence. Mm-hmm. Even if we get it wrong one time, that is one too many times to get it wrong. And your fiance has a large following, maybe he could post this too. Yeah, if I can get him to sit down for a second, I'll explain it to him. He is very he's very busy right now. My leg itches, sorry. He's very busy right now with a bunch of other stuff, but yes, I'll see if he'll do a video. Yeah, even if you get it wrong one time, it's too many times. It's too many times. Thank you, Laura. And that's facts. That's facts. Yeah. It's a really difficult thing to work in things like prison reform, recovery, and harm reduction. You're going to get your heart broken. If you work in corrections, the legal system, you will get your fucking heart broken. You will see situations that are not fair and not just, because that is life. You will see people called it none. Did you leave a message? You will see the worst of the worst. You will have people give you hope and then break your heart, in all different forms. Off topic, but congratulations on your engagement. Thank you. Thank you for losing your platform. That's what it's for, Betsy. You guys have given me this platform, and I'm so grateful for it. It started with prison, I couldn't be like a true advocate about prison reform and all of the things if I didn't talk about those things. Death penalty is 100% useless, nothing but problems, no benefit. The only thing that the death penalty does is make the victim's family feel better, have some kind of closure. That is a really important thing. But as somebody that has been to prison with people serving life without sentences, I've seen, and it's very tricky. You're not supposed to, the person that committed the crime cannot contact the victims. There's situations with that, right? But I've seen victims' family forgive the person that did something horrible. And I've seen that be a very like meaningful moment for them, you know, a really important moment for them. I don't know how I would act if something happened and someone took, you know, my family member, my loved one away. I don't know. I'd act crazy probably. I'd want all of the vengeance, and that's where it comes in. I think that's where the death penalty comes in. But I have seen a lot of different situations where family members of victims reaching out to people that were involved in a crime that took their loved one away. And that was a healing moment for both sides. Yeah, we have 138 people and 66 likes. Can we get the likes up? If you just hit the 3 little dots at the top of the page, you'll be able to like it. They stopped doing it here for almost a decade because they messed up the mixture and they gave 4 different times. Oh my God. Could you imagine? Can you imagine? Like, oh my God, I should do a whole video on that because like years and years and years, you're just waiting to die. You're waiting to die. You have no hope. You're in the hole, like death. If you're in X, it's called X row. I want to block out that light. That's like, you know, it's called X row to the people on X row, but it's just a really shitty way to spend the rest of your life. And then you get to that moment and they're finally like, okay, by the state of Missouri, by the law, we sentence you to die by lethal injection. Da, da, da. They go through the whole thing, right? And then it doesn't work. And they give you some kind of crazy ass cocktail. Like, oh my God, dude. Can you imagine? That light is irritating me. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to swish y'all around. Oh, I couldn't be a cop. I couldn't be any of that. I couldn't be a cop. I couldn't work in corrections, period. Like, I would be the worst corrections officer ever. Like, the worst one. I would be sleeping on the job. I'd be smoking schmeed, you know? Like you said, I could have a smoke break. Oh, you meant cigarette. Oh, well, that's weird. You know, my de-escalation strategy would be to give them a joint and, I don't know, like a pizza. How many signatures do they have? I don't know. Let me check. That would be a good thing to know. Some changed at work, right? Like all the other ones. Robert 2 times. Oh yeah, the Green Mile. That's horrifying. So the one that I just pulled up only has 15K. Let me sign this shit real quick. Guys, go Google that. Hold on. Is this the right one? There's no way. That's the right one. Oh my God. How many emails can I make up real quick? Okay. We're signing it. Oh, man. Chip in $2. Why does it only say chip in $2? Can you chip in $2 to get this petition? Why does it only say 2? Oh, okay. Then you can add more if you want to. Okay. God, don't you love when your card's already saved and you don't have to like go get something? You know? Like, hell yeah, dude. I just added 188 petition views to it. Yay! We added 188 petition views to it. There's a few petitions. Okay, well, fuck me. Of course there is. Why am I allowed to do anything? You know? Well, I got one of them done. Let's go to the other one. I'll do it on all of them. 97,000 on Innocence Project. Okay. That was just the first one that I clicked on. There's a lot of them though. Like there is a lot of them. Can you imagine spending over 20 years on death row for some shit you didn't even do? And you have to mourn the loss of your child? Like, oh my God, it gives me goosebumps. I can't even imagine. Yeah, there's a lot of petitions for Robert. I just have no hope left after I saw what they just did to Marcellus Williams in Missouri. I will obviously have a little bit of hope because here we are. I'm still going to try all of the things, but God, I just couldn't imagine. What did he do? He did nothing. He has autism and didn't have emotion. When he took his sick daughter who had fallen off of the bed to the hospital, she had a fever and she had undiagnosed pneumonia, and Robert had undiagnosed autism. His lack of emotion led investigators to believe that he hurt her, and then the doctor said it was shaken baby syndrome when that was not true. Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of emotion. All through trial, just very little emotion. He has autism. Was there an autopsy? I would imagine. Um, but all of the signs, all the things came back to shaken baby syndrome did not happen with his toddler. That did not happen. He did not hurt his toddler. Like, you know, even the lead detective that helped put him in prison is advocating for him, and he has been one of Robert's biggest advocates because he deeply regrets his testimony and everything that led to that conviction. Him being autistic wasn't brought into account at trial. I believe he was diagnosed after the fact in prison. I gave Melissa Lucio a stay of execution a couple of years ago, but this is an election year. God, don't you hate that? Don't you hate that everything changes in election years? Like, did he say why he testified against him in the first place? Because he was a cop, he was a detective, and that's what he believed to be true on scene at the time. He was solely going off of the doctor saying it was shaken baby syndrome and Robert's lack of emotion and nothing more. That was what the detective thought at the time. Washington Post just released an article about failing Robert literally 34 minutes ago. Good. To play devil's advocate, sociopaths don't have emotion either. Kim, he was diagnosed with autism, not ASPD. He's not a sociopath. Also, sociopaths do have emotion. They have extreme lack of empathy and remorse and compassion, but they have emotions. It's there. It's not great. I'm definitely not telling you to take my word for it. You could just look it up yourself. Always do your own research. There's plenty of times where I've gotten it wrong or I didn't do all of my research and, I missed a detail here or there. In fact, almost every single video that I've ever put on the internet has some kind of a mistake in it somewhere. So yeah, do your own research, of course. Never just take my word for it. I get things wrong all the time. I'm a human being. I need to do an entire video on how many times I've gotten it wrong. Why are we only hearing you speak about him now? We never heard you talk about him before. Better late than never. I didn't know. Instead of attacking me for giving you information to try to save a man's life, just call, sign the petition, do something that you can do, because bitching at me is not going to help. I'm hearing about it now. The guy's name is in the title. Robert Robertson. It's also pinned to the thing, the page at the top of the chat. I'm glad the Washington Post came out with an article too. That's important. You need to swallow when you're. I don't know how loud this mic is. I don't know how my volume is. I'm sorry. Just inquiring. Has the governor talked about him? The person in a position of power to actually save his life, has he talked about him? You should call and ask him. And the number to ask him is at the top of the screen. I don't know who Philip is. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? I can't answer for somebody else. I don't know who has or has not talked about it. I'm talking about it now to you guys. I'm doing the best that I can as a person with a platform, and we have 2 days. You really should ask Gov Abbot why he hasn't talked about this, and you can ask him by calling the number at the top of your screen. The internet is so fun. Are we having fun? It's great. What a time to be alive. People grieve in their own way. That's also so true. You can't judge somebody with the way that they react to and handle extreme trauma. We are all going to respond differently. There's no right way to respond to trauma. We're all different. Some people might completely shut down. Cognitive dissonance is a real thing. Some people might just break down and scream and cry, which is what we think to be the normal reaction to trauma. But there is no normal reaction. Trauma is not normal. And the way that all of our brains process it is very different. Yeah, I'm really glad the Washington Post came out with that article. That's a good thing. Greg's not busy. Gov Abbot's not busy at all. He's fine. And you can find out by calling the number at the top of your screen. He's not fucking busy. I think that the disassociation after a traumatic event is so hard. I think it's as traumatic. And then trying to figure out what actually happened and have clarity in it. That's why EDMR is so good. It drowns out the noise of the others trying to tell you how to handle it and try to tell you what happened and like all of the things. It's just so hard. While at the same time, your brain is trying to compartmentalize that in order for you to survive. The brain is designed to keep you alive, right? So what it does when you endure extreme trauma or abuse, it takes that and it locks it in a box, puts it at the back of your mind. And sometimes things trigger that and it opens up a little bit and you're like, oh, and then it comes to the front of your mind. That's where flashbacks come in. The really interesting thing, and they now can prove this, the really interesting thing about PTSD and flashbacks is that your brain can't differentiate now and then in those moments. Like it can't differentiate between this flashback that I'm having, this dream that I'm having, this trigger from 2 years ago when it happened and today when I'm feeling it. It feels the same. I would love a video on CPS during Jessica. My cousin got CPS called her because she brought her baby to the hospital. Yeah, I'll do a video on it. Thank you, dogs with tattooed humans. I like your name too. That's cool. I'll do a video on it because there's been way too many cases where DCFS or CPS, they have taken kids away that didn't need to be taken away. They have lost a bunch of foster kids in foster care. It's a fucking shit show. Babies and kids have been taken away because parents are on their doctor prescribed medications. Yeah. Yeah, it's horrible. I just couldn't imagine losing one of my babies and then being put in prison. Not only am I now in prison on death row, and I have to now mourn the loss of my baby. Like, how do you process that? And then everyone in there thinking that you did something absolutely horrible. And oh my God. She was also on a medication that's now blacklisted for children. Oh, of course she was. I'll look into it. There's another case that I have to look into. I'm not going to mention it right now. Damn, ads in a live stream is weird. Burner and I, it's not funny, but like this is just how his mind works. Burner and I were in bed last night, and he's like, he thought of this case, and he's like, "Are all the windows locked?" And I'm like, "What?" So we got up and checked all the windows and set the alarm system, did all the things, but like I was like almost asleep, you know. And then he just had to tell me about this case, and I'm like, dude, I could have gone the rest of my life without hearing that case. But I'm glad you checked all the things and made sure all the things were locked and the security system was on and all of that. But I'm like, dude, can you just not tell me? Oh my, the weirdest thing happened. We were watching Halloween, like the 2018 one. And dude, we're watching it, right? We couldn't even finish it because we were so tired because that's like literally our life. We're just exhausted all the time. And he turned off the TV and then we heard a kid's show playing and the TV was off. So he just got up and unplugged it. He's like, what the fuck this, dude? It's weird. I'm like, you know what? When you work closely with someone, you get to see them differently. Courtney said, I lost 2 family members. Thank you for talking about trauma. Some days I can't do anything like today. Yeah, I follow this. You're welcome. I follow this Instagram account where she says it's been 3 years since my dad unalived my mom, and I can't live in despair and grief. I have to force myself to get up every day and fight through this and not let the grief take me over, you know? And I watch her vlogs and I just think, man, this girl's so strong. I can't even imagine that. And then I thought, oh my God, like that could have happened to me. You know what I mean? Like that could have been my girl's story. And I'm so glad I got away. Just all the random thoughts, Just beyond me that the governor can put someone to. Yeah, that was the sentence per the law. You know what I mean? So a governor, I think that is a better job than a president. I think governors have a little bit more power in terms of the things that I care about, like pardons, Governors can do a lot of shit, and I don't think people realize it. Like governors, that's why they go to prison so much for abusing said power. This chat's moving so slow. I don't know if it's my computer. I don't know. Maybe no one's just talking to me. Don't know. Do you guys follow me on TikTok? Hold on. I have a jar of these that I can now give people, because it's really hard for me to like muster up the fuck to give. But now I have one to give. I have a whole jar of them to give. I just told you that. They're just sitting here. You're so strong. Lucky. A lot of people don't get away. Yeah, a lot of people don't leave because of the financial situation. I just know this dynamic, right? I know it happens on both sides, but most women, most mothers will endure insufferable pain to make sure their kids have a roof over their head and food on the table, And so many do not leave. So many do not leave their abusers. And I'm very, very grateful that I was able to get away, to show my kids, God forbid, if you're ever in a situation like that, the right answer is to leave. Like, was I always perfect in that? No. It was so hard though. If I would have stayed, then if they ever got into a situation like that, they would have thought the answer is to leave. They would have grown up and found a man like their father. That alone is a scary thought for me, that they could, grow up and find a man like him. And, we always find people like our parents, but it's never our parents' good qualities, right? It's always our parents' bad qualities. And that's just a whole trauma that I'm not going to unpack on a live stream, but that thought scared me to death. It scared me so bad. Like, I have to show them this is not okay. No matter how much of a financial, emotional hit I take, I have to get them out of here. I have to show them, this big, beautiful house. Say goodbye to that. Like, no, none of that matters. My life matters. Their life matters. They don't deserve to live in a house of trauma and abuse and just emotional neglect and, a dad that never played with them or interacted with them a ton. And he was just an asshole, just not great. It took me a long time to, I don't know why we're talking about this now. We're supposed to be talking about Robert. That's what this is about. But it took me a long time to recognize that that was my love, my effort that kept that family whole, that I was the glue, that was my energy and my love and my spirit and my patience and my energy that brought love and life and laughter into that house. And, and that's why it was tolerable, I guess. So I'm like, I can take that over here and we cannot have to endure this crap. Can this guy be saved? I fucking hope so. I only left when he started hurting my son. Yeah, a lot of people think that, oh, well, they're not hurting the kids, so it's okay. Or they would never do that to the kids. They love their kids. They love their kids. If you are abusing your kid's primary caregiver, okay, if you're abusing that person, you don't love your kids. Because how can you love your kids and hurt the person taking care of them? How can you love your kids and financially drain the person that is taking care of your kids? How can you love your kids and put your hands on their mother, on their father in front of them? How can you love your kids and not show up for your kids? I was trying to read your comment, Faith. It is not an easy situation at all. Like, it is so hard. Just do everything you can every day to protect those babies until you can leave. Whether that is headphones so they don't hear any of the yelling. Gray rock is a pretty good strategy in my opinion, where you just act like nothing that they do can trigger you or get a response out of you, so they just get kind of bored. It's like it's like a cat and mouse thing. If the mouse is dead, cat's like, well, whatever, and then just go find a new mouse, kind of like that. Gray rock is, it's a good strategy until you're out, because there's no reason to even engage in any more arguments anymore. And I think for a lot of women in particular, again, I can only speak for me. If you want to talk about how men endure narcissistic abuse and trauma, you can create that platform if that's your area of expertise. I can only talk about it from my POV. Like, we're gone mentally before we ever physically leave. And I just shut down. I shut down for so long because for years in my gut, I knew I just didn't want to believe that. And, I would never fight with him. And then in the last 10 months, I fought back. I finally started to fight back. I could not take it anymore. For me, it was so much easier to just deal with all of the things he was doing and saying than it was to try to fight back. It was also really scary. It's a big ass dude. That's a big dude. It's a big drunk dude on steroids. I'm good. It's crazy you say that, because it's literally been my energy for the past month. Just been acting like shit doesn't bother me, and I'm just letting it go. I think narcissistic or toxic people or abusive people, it's so hard, because you never know how they're going to react. That's why we just walk around on eggshells, but those eggshells become shards of glass, and your feet are raw at that point, right? Like, it just becomes so bad and unmanageable and so hard to deal with, but you never know if this is just going to make them mad, like madder at you and more crazy. I wish I had the playbook on it. Most narcissistic people, they're very, very similar. Copy, paste, bitch, right? And there are strategies for it, like radical acceptance and gray rock, that help. But getting away, in my opinion, is the best thing, even though it's the hardest thing. Getting your body out of fight or flight mode after you've left this person takes time and all of that. What's the story with this guy? Okay, so Robert Robertson was convicted of a crime that never happened. They said that his daughter, who had undiagnosed pneumonia and eventually passed away, they tried to say, the doctors, that he hurt her by shaken baby syndrome. She was 2. So Robert, his lack of emotion led the lead detective to get on the stand and say, oh, doctor said shaken baby. He has no emotion. He definitely must have hurt his daughter. It didn't happen. Didn't happen. And in 2 days, the state of Texas can execute him. So I have a number at the top of the screen that you can call, leave a message, and say, please do not put an innocent man to death, not only for a crime that he did not commit, but a crime that never happened. Yeah, he was later diagnosed with autism. Can't believe they can do that. They can, and they do. The state of Missouri just put Marcellus Williams to death. And I never thought they would. It's why you guys didn't hear me talk about it. I genuinely did not think that they were going to. There was millions of signatures and tons of people, every single organization talking about it. It went viral over and over and over again. And I thought, there's no way. The victim's family was begging the state of Missouri not to execute Marcellus Williams. There was so much attention on it. I thought, okay, I don't need to make a video. I mean, even if I did make a video, obviously it wouldn't have done anything because they just didn't care. It's just a horrible injustice what happened, but I was so shocked. I was so shocked when I woke up the next morning and he really had been executed. I still can't believe it. Like, it's just wild. Looking up controversy of shaken baby syndrome, it's really confusing, but it looks like doctors would falsely diagnose babies with shaken baby syndrome based on scans, but children would grow up okay. Hmm. My question is, how does your baby have undiagnosed pneumonia that's medical neglect? Yeah, she had a fever when he brought her to the hospital. She had fallen off of the bed and she had hit her head. But she was sick. She was really sick. And I don't know. Pneumonia is very hard to diagnose. You need a lung x-ray. I've had walking pneumonia before, which is like weird. Like, how am I this sick? And I'm just strong. Women are just built different. I'm going to jump off of here. This is already 15 minutes long. And I think I made all the points in the beginning. I hope so anyway. So please call. Greg Abbott is not busy. He's not doing shit today. So please call and leave a message and do all the things, you guys. There's petitions on change.org. And yeah, I will keep you guys updated. I have to do a couple of other videos on it, some short videos. So I want to get that knocked out. And I will see y'all later. Please do all the things. I promise Greg's not busy today. It's fine. Bye, you guys.